Today you will read a passage from Laspapas. As you read, pay close attention to the interaction between the Father and the Son as you answer the questions to prepare to write a narrative story. Read the passage from Laspapas, then answer the questions from Laspapas by Julio Ortega. At first, when he began to care for the child all by himself, he tried to simplify the ordeal of meals by going out to the corner restaurant, but he soon found that if he tried to cook something, it passed the time, and he also amused himself with the child's curiosity. He picked up the cut slices. There wasn't much more to discover in them. It wasn't necessary to expect anything more of them than the density they already possessed, a crude cleanliness that was the earth's flavor. But that same sense transformed them right there in his hands, a secret flowering uncovered by him in the kitchen. It was as if he discovered one of the lost varieties of the Andean potato, the one that belonged to him, wandering at noon. When the chicken began to fry in the skillet, the boy returned, attracted by its aroma. The man was in the midst of making the salad. "Where's this food come?" the child asked, realizing it was a different recipe. "Peru," he replied. "Not Italy?" said the child, surprised. "I'm cooking another recipe now," he explained. "Potatoes come from Peru. You know that, right?" "Yeah, but I forgot." "They're really good, and there are all kinds and flavors. Remember mangoes? You really used to like them when we went to see your grandparents." "I don't remember them either. I only remember the lion in the zoo." "You don't remember the tree in Oliver Park?" "Uh-huh, I remember that." "We're going back there next summer to visit the whole family." "What if there's an earthquake?" The boy went for his Spanish reader and sat down at the kitchen table. He read the resonant names out loud, names that were also like an unfinished history, and the man had to go over to him every once in a while to help explain one thing or another. He tasted the sauce for the amount of salt, then added a bit of tarragon, whose intense perfume was delightful, and a bit of marjoram, a sweeter aroma. He noticed how, outside, the light trapped by a tree slipped out from the blackened greenness of the leaves, now spilling onto the grass on the hill where their apartment house stood. The grass, all lit up, became an oblique field, a slope of tame fire seen from the window. He looked at the child, stuck on a page in his book. He looked at the calm, repeated blue of the sky, and he looked at the leaves of lettuce in his hands, leaves that crackled as they broke off and opened up like tender shoots beside the faucet of running water. As if it suddenly came back to him, he understood that he must have been 6 or 7 when his father, probably 40 years old, as he was now, used to cook at home on Sundays. His father was always in a good mood as he cooked, boasting beforehand about how good the Chinese recipes were that he had learned in a remote hacienda in Peru. Maybe his father had made these meals for him, in this always incomplete past, to celebrate the meeting of father and son. Unfamiliar anxiety, like a question without a subject, grew in him as he understood that he had never properly acknowledged his father's gesture. He hadn't even understood it. Actually, he had rejected his father's cooking one time, saying that it was too spicy. He must have been about 15 then, a recent convert, devoutly practicing the religion of natural foods. When he left the table with the plate of fish in his hands, he went out to the kitchen to turn on the faucet and quickly washed away the flesh boiled in soy sauce and ginger. His mother came to the kitchen and scolded him for what he had just done, a seemingly harmless act, but from then on an irreparable one. He returned to the table in silence, sullen, but his father didn't appear offended, or did he suspect that one day his son's meal would be refused by his own son when he served it? The emotion could still wound him. The emotion could still wound him, but it could also make him laugh. There was a kind of irony in this repeating to a large extent his father's gestures as he concocted an unusual flavor in the kitchen. However, like a sigh that only acquires some meaning by turning upon itself, he discovered a symmetry in the repetitions, a symmetry that revealed the agony of emotions not easily understood.